Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank all of my colleagues for their incredible work on this issue for years now in terms of not just reducing plastic waste, but now we're on the cusp of eliminating it altogether. In the US alone, restaurants spend billions of dollars on plastic serviceware items that are not recycled on our waste stream and will pollute our environment for centuries to come, long after all of us are gone, especially since there is no recovery facility service in Los Angeles County that recycles plastic food serviceware, according to the UCLA Luskin Center for Innovation. These foodware accessories litter our communities and disproportionately burden resource-poor and economically challenged communities. Today, we're taking an enormous step to combat the impact plastic waste has on our environment. Because of the work of the Bureau of Sanitation and the Energy Environment Committee, which I chair, and our many partners across the city of Los Angeles has taken some of the most progressive and critical actions at the local level to reverse course on the harm being done to our planet. In Los Angeles, a culture of environmental action is well established. In that sense, the initiatives we've taken to abolish single-use plastics is another step in the long-term effort to reverse the profound damage to our environment. We've enacted foodware accessories upon request, which requires restaurants and other food service providers to provide disposable foodware accessories only at the request of the consumer. Operators of food and beverage facilities have reported significant waste reduction with this on-request policy, leading to as much as 90% waste reduction, which in turn also has an economic savings for food service providers. And many of these takeout establishments still just pack in plastic knives and forks, even though this is in place. So once we eliminate it, that won't even be an option. With the action today, we're asking the departments for implementation and a transition approach to phase out the purchase of single-use plastics with specific focus on policy actions, zero waste for city facilities, and city-sponsored events. These are just a few of the critical steps involved in reaching our goals. The city of LA has set a target to achieving 90% diversion of solid waste from landfill by 2025, less than 3 years, 95% by 2035, and zero trash to landfills by 2050. As a large city known the world over, we are sending a clear message that our reliance on fossil fuels and its byproducts is on track to become a thing of the past as we pivot to our 100% renewable energy future and the preservation and restoration of our shared environment. The instructions before us today are the direct result of our committee's work to phase out single-use plastics, conduct CEQA analysis where required, and identifying the funding necessary to support these efforts. We will continue to focus on reversing the normalization of massive single-use plastic consumption and waste. We do that by creating the infrastructure necessary to build a holistic, circular system rather than a failing linear system where supposedly recyclables are not recyclable at all. Instead, they just end up as trash on our streets, in our gutters, in landfills, or in our oceans, killing marine life, rather than being returned to the market. Thank you, Sanitation, for your work on this important matter. I understand that this is a multifaceted issue, and there is no one particular answer to such complex issues, but we have an obligation to pursue it no matter how difficult the challenge may be. We are all very passionate about our environment, and we want to make sure we move forward instructions that will continue to prioritize the sanctity of our shared environment. I also want to make sure we continue to involve all the stakeholders in this process, especially our small businesses, especially restaurants that are often minority owned, in order to reduce any financial impacts they may incur. I began meeting with restaurants 4 years ago on this issue, explaining then that this day would eventually come. I believe that the private marketplace will continue innovating the manufacturing of biodegradable, single-use foodware items so that costs come down as widespread demand for these biodegradable single-use foodware items increases. As a city, we should lead by example. This is why we chose to move forward with zero waste city facilities and a city-sponsored events policy first. We lead by example. We build coalitions like all of these wonderful environmental groups that we've been working with. So colleagues, I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.